Medical marijuana controversy. There is growing concern Maryland's new medical pot program is lacking diversity. This comes as the state is starting to narrow down who will be able to grow and process pot products in the state. WJZ is live in Annapolis. George Solis explains why the governor may need to get involved. George?
Well, Vic, all this comes after the state's Cannabis Commission awarded preliminary licenses to companies to either grow or process medical marijuana, but it's who, rather who wasn't, and the lack of why that's causing controversy. As Maryland moves to fine-tune its new medical marijuana program, some are already suggesting the state go back to the drawing board.
The push is to get this resolved before session starts. We don't want licenses to be awarded.
Legislative Black Caucus of Maryland Chair and Delegate Cheryl Glenn telling WJZ the lack of diversity for companies being allowed to grow and process medical pot is unacceptable. She's now calling on the governor to step in and help.
It's a billion-dollar business to start up in the state of Maryland and no minority participation, when at the same time 1/3 of the population of the state of Maryland is minority.
Just this month, the state's Medical Cannabis Commission issued 30 preliminary licenses for growing and processing of medical marijuana. Curio Wellness is one of more than 100 companies that applied. Their license was approved.
Maryland's going to be a real leader in going from kind of the dark ages of cannabis into the enlightened age.
The applications were reviewed and ranked by an outside organization before the commission voted. Now, the panel didn't look at racial diversity, but did look at geography. GTI Clinic is one company that was bumped from the initial 15 companies approved based on that criteria. In a statement to WJZ, the company says in part, quote, "We were surprised to learn that we were moved out of the group. We are now carefully reviewing the decision made by the commission. But for those who need it most, it's just a question of accessibility."
It worked the very first time, and it's been an absolute blessing for me.
Now, and though the governor can't actually make any decisions about the commission's decision, he did say he'll be assigning some sort of task force to look into the matter. We're live in Annapolis tonight. George Solis, WJZ Eyewitness News.
George, thank you. And recently the DEA decided to keep marijuana a Schedule I drug like heroin. Despite the classification, the DEA does approve its use for research purposes.